digital currency a chip. But first, what is digital currency? Digital currencies have no physical properties and are only available in digital or electronic form. It is also known as cybercash, digital money, electronic money, or electronic currency. The difference between digital currency and electronic currency in most bank accounts is that it never takes physical form. Let's say right now you could go to an ATM and turn an electric record of your currency holdings into physical money. Digital currency, on the other hand, always remains on a computer network and is exchanged through digital means. The usefulness of digital currency is comparable to that of real money. They may be used to pay for both products and services. They are also forbidden in some online communities, such as gaming sites, gambling websites, and social networking sites. However, many people are wondering how these chips will further evolve, and if that will include them having to implant these chips on themselves to protect their money. Is this a sign of progress for humankind?
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. I'm the brother Yawanathan, back with another quick lesson. Lord willing, is edifying. And do you need a RFID microchip implant to use CBDC? It's not a matter of if, but when. When the CBDC is globally instituted, are you eventually going to need a device in order to access that currency, that digital currency? Are you going to need a digital device to access the digital currency? And does this have anything to do with the mark of the beast? In the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, we're going to go through that in this lesson, Lord willing, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, because it is the mark of the beast. The RFID chip is the mark of the beast. And everything that we've been saying to a T here at Great Millstone, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, beginning with the elder apostles, you see it coming to pass. You heard it here first at Great Millstone. Global currency, a one world currency, leading to the mark of the beast, which is going to take place in all the world, as a prophecy says. So this is just a little satire tweet, I found funny. A chipped hand will be the new "I'm a nice person, I'm wearing a mask," which is just showing you how simple the people are, the citizens of this world, so to speak. People can't even see when there's an agenda behind something. They don't understand gradualism or, gradualism, that's the best word. But, conditioning, that's another word for it. They don't understand these things. Oh, grooming, that's another buzzword that's going around that, they're trying to stay away from. But all these words are sticking to the elites. They're grooming up little kids right now, with this whole trans movement and these school systems and all that. I mean, that's a whole nother topic for another lesson. But the point is that you people are being groomed. You adults, you human adults, you're being groomed to receive a microchip implant. And that was part of what the C-19 pandemic was about. All right, desensitizing you to taking things in your body, basically where you don't even have a choice. You have an illusion of choice, but you don't really have a choice, because if you don't follow along with the program, you'll be what? You'll be cut out of society. And some of the people that retweeted or whatever and put comments, they see that too. To refuse one will be hateful. Whatever. So obviously this is sarcastic. I don't think this will be exploited for demonic purposes at all. Hey, man. Once again, you heard it here first at Great Millstone, but really it's in the Bible. It's not something that we came up with or we created. And now the Lord is just revealing and manifesting that, who is his prophets? Who are the ones who prophesied about these things coming? before they came. Because now you hear Nate talking about digital currencies and all of that, but he's still not going to tell you that the RFID microchip implant is the mark of the beast. And eventually, you're going to need that in order to use this global CBD that the IMF is currently telling you that they're creating. IMF leader declares our global CBDC will be mandatory for all. That sounds a little bit familiar. It sounds like Revelation, the 13th chapter. All right. International Monetary Fund leader Kristalina, not even going to try to pronounce that, have declared that the globalist organization is working hard on a global CBDC platform that will be mandatory for all citizens of the world. She declared that central bank digital currencies need to be interoperable between countries, noting if we are to be successful, CBDCs could not be fragmented national propositions. So there can be an individual CBDC for America and for China. It's all going to be under one system, which it already is. See, this is that illusion of choice that I was talking about. A lot of people believe that there's a difference between a US dollar and a Chinese yuan. It's the same thing. It comes from the same system. It's a central bank currency, regardless of the name and where it's being used and how much it's worth and wherever it's being used. It's the same system. It's the same framework that's being used. So we're already in a one world currency. The currencies have different names. That doesn't mean that they're different. All right. It doesn't mean that it's a different currency because one is called the US digital dollar and one is the EU yuan or the digital yuan. They're both CBDCs. They both are coming from central bank. And they're already interoperable because anywhere you go in the world, you can exchange currency. You can trade this currency and the value of that currency if it comes from a central bank and the IMF. All right, so they've already built the foundation for this. It's not going to be a complete economic collapse of the banking system. It's just going to be the current system that basically is going to be like a software update. And just like when you update your phone has to reset. That's what the reset is about. It's not destroying the whole banking system and creating a new one. The system already is there in place. They're just going to update it to only digital currency. No more paper currencies. That's all it is. That's what's going on. The scriptures say we can't be ignorant to say, we're not ignorant to Satan devices, but it said don't be ignorant in any matter, small or great. And this is a great matter because this is going to affect all of our lives. This is a currency that we're all going to have to use when the time comes. But when the time comes for them to introduce and mandate the RFID microchip implant, then we know that we can't continue on with it. And we need Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to make a way for us to escape the temptation. Because that's what the hour of temptation is. This is a global experiment, if you will. A global test, a global trial. It says to have transactions more efficient and fairer, we need systems that connect countries. In other words, we need interoperable. I can't pronounce that right now. Interoperability. There we go. The word interoperability means the ability of computer systems or software to exchange and make use of information. Which that's not really. Let's just copy and paste it. Make a new tab. Interoperability. Let's see what images come up. Basically connects everything. So let's say this here in the middle is like the software, the computer. Well, it's going to have access to all of these different aspects of life. It's going to have data collected in one cloud, so to speak. And that's what you also call the Internet of Things, which the microchip implant is a big part of that, because how do you bring a human being and the data of a human being into this system? They have to be chipped. They have to have the same thing that all of these other Internet of bodies, such as your car, your phone, your house, your microwave, etc. All of these systems have something in common. They have RFID chip implants in them, or chips in them, RFID chips, radio frequency identification devices or chips in them. That's what allows them to all connect. That's what allows your phone to tell your bank or whatever through all the connections and the Wi-Fi to take money out or make a purchase or whatever. That's why they added microchips to bank cards a few years back, to debit cards and credit cards. This was just more gradualism towards a microchip implant inside of a human. That's really the point on this one. This is another article from Reuters. IMF working on global central bank digital currency platform. So they're not hiding it from you. It's not no longer a conspiracy like you people try to call us conspiracy theorists or conspiracy nuts. Well, it's everywhere in your face now. They're telling you what they're doing. They're telling you what their goals are, what they're working on, and what they want to do. The World Economic Forum, the chief or whatever, Charles Schwab, did he not say that he envisions a world and a future world where people are microchipped? These people are all working together for this common goal of bringing a global currency through the microchip. That's what Revelation, that's what the prophecy is about, man. We're going to get it. Let's read some of this article first. The International Monetary Fund is working on a platform for central bank digital currencies. A platform also basically means software or framework or whatever you want to call it, whatever different word you want to use. Foundation is all the same thing. It's a system that they are creating that everyone is going to be entrapped in. And they can't get you into this system without the microchip. That's the only way they could lock you into this platform, because it's a digital currency. It's no longer a tangible physical currency. It's going to be straight up through the computer, through numbers and digital math equations, etc. How could you be a part of that if you're not basically taking the biometric steps to become one with technology, which is the concept or the ideology of transhumanism? That's what this is all coming down to, man. And transhumanism is a deeper philosophy and a religion than just putting electronics in your body. It's about what it represents, you so-called evolving and transcending the Most High's natural creation for you as a human being. This is ultimate rebellion and wickedness and witchcraft, man. You people can't even see that. You think this is a progressive benefit to the world, and this is going to enslave more people and kill and destroy more people. That's what all of this is going to do, to limit the Earth's population as their theory of depopulation. Agenda 2030, Agenda 21. It says a platform for digital CBDCs to enable transactions between countries. CBDC should not be fragmented. We read that. That was in the other article. Let's see if there's anything else here. See, they even use it here. Framework, same word, man. And let's look that word up. Let's look up what is framework? An essential supporting structure of a building, right? Whenever you're going to renovate on a building, you don't destroy the foundation. You know, you're not destroying the framework. You want to keep the same foundation, but you want to make some changes to it. Maybe you want to paint the house or whatever, or, you know, switch up the furniture, or you may even want to break some walls and make extra rooms or whatever. Less rooms, but the frame is still the same. It's still a house. It's not going to be changed into a submarine. The monetary system that the central bankers have already created, which is a debt-based system, is already in place, and they don't need to change that. All it needs is an upgrade. Let's go to Proverbs 22. Verse 7, the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. That's the system that they created. They've already enslaved the world through debt. All right, thick clay in the book of Habakkuk 2 and 5, or 2 and 6. Ibatyat in the Hebrew, which is thick clay. The world right now, damn, I looked it up. Let me see if I can find it again. How much debt in the world? $305 trillion, according to the Institute of International Finance. So who is this world? Who is the world? Who is where? Global debt currency stands at $305 trillion, 45 trillion higher than before the C-19 pandemic. Who owes this money to who? It says global debt is the total amount of money owed by corporations, governments, and individuals around the world. It tells you who it's owed by, but who the fuck is it owed to? Who do we owe $305 trillion to? Because whoever those people are, they're our masters according to this world. Really, according to this scripture right here, they rule over this planet Earth because they are the ones who have all the riches, and they are the ones who indebted the whole planet Earth and all the countries and nations of the planet Earth, which makes these nations and countries and its citizens now servants. That's why you have a social security number. That's why you have a birth certificate. That's why you don't have rights. You have privileges that could be taken away from you at any point in time, i.e. the pandemic. The year 2020, man, when the world was locked down. Who locked it down? The people with power, man. The people that rule over us. The wicked elite. The people who are working on a global CBDC. The people who are going to bring out the RFID microchip implant. What don't you people understand? But it ain't about the people that don't understand. It's about you brothers and sisters that do understand. And you know that this time is coming. And you know that you have to prepare yourself for temptation. And that's what we're doing. And that's why we bring out these videos, to let it be more known and realistic what we talking about, man. This is not some made up predictions that we are conspiring. This is not a theory that we think is going to, it's happening right before your eyes, man. And if you can't see that, then obviously you have to be a blind person. If you cannot see that, already 114 central banks are at some stage of CBDC exploration. You see that? So most of the world is already down with this thing, man. Most of the central banks of the planet Earth, which a central bank is native to its country or nation, all right, they're already exploring CBDC. They're already on the path to basically establishing this framework for global interoperability, which is going to lead to global microchipping. This is Revelation, the 13th chapter, and I'm going to start at the 16th verse. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So whatever this mark is, which we know what it is, I'm basically, I don't know what to call it, but just basically go down the rabbit hole with me. This mark has to be something that allows you to use a currency, because you buy and sell with currency. We buy and sell right now with paper money. You don't need to sin to get paper money. It's not something spiritual. You don't need to believe in Christianity. You don't need to have any philosophy or ideology. All right? There's not 666 white men that give you the money or take it away from you when you're not listening. That's not what the mark is. The mark is the RFID chip that's going to allow you to use CBDC to buy and sell. And if you don't have that mark, how are you going to be able to use CBDC? Right now, if you don't have a bank account, you're going to be fucked. I'm going to just put it like that. At the stage that we at now of this man gradually bringing this thing in, if you do not have a bank account and a phone or some type of smart device, you're fucked. You're not going to be able to do anything in this society. Even to some extent, it's already like that right now. But coming this July 2023, when the FedNow app is launched, and the progression of that, as you're going to see after the next couple of weeks and months, you're going to see that if you don't even have the FedNow app, you're going to be limited to what you can and can't buy or sell. So how much more when they actually bring the RFID chips? The FedNow app is like a prototype of a concept of a chip, because you're not going to have a choice not to use the FedNow app. You're going to try to buy certain things at certain online stores. They're going to say, we only taking FedNow, the FedNow app. That's the only way you could pay for this, because that's the only secured method of payment that's insured by the bank, and it's the quickest, because that's the goal of FedNow. Supposedly, it has nothing to do with CBDC. When it launches, it's not CBDC, but we know eventually it's going to be used as a tool to introduce and to basically normalize CBDC. Because if you're already doing everything through the FedNow app and you're already departing from cash and going away from cash, it's not going to be a big deal to say, oh, well, we have another device that's going to be used for buying and selling with CBDC, and it's the RFID chip implant. You're going to already be desensitized to a concept of, well, I have to use this platform or this software or this system or this foundation that they're created and they provided in order to live my life. That's all this is about, man. That's the he that causeth all. Is the so-called white man, beginning with the international bankers, which they control all these nations. The governments of the world are bought and paid for because they are plunged into debt that they can never get out of. So they are indebted to these bankers, to these international banking families like the Rothschilds, which are Edomites. They're indebted. They don't have a choice. And if the country is indebted, if the government is indebted, the citizens are indebted. And if the citizens are indebted, the citizens and the government belongs to the central bank. And that's how he's going to be able to make laws through the governments of the world. He's going to make laws that you have to take the RFID chip, Isaiah 10:1. He's going to create, and he's going to write unrighteous decrees, just like all the kings of the ancient world have done. It's not nothing new, but it's just that this particular law, this particular legislation that's going to be passed is for you to receive a mark, a charagma, a physical incision. That's what the word charagma means. You're going to have to receive that mark either in your hand or in your brain, Neuralink, Synchron, etc. And if you do not consent to doing that, you cannot access CBDC. It's literally that simple. I have nothing else left to say other than you know that you're not supposed to take that chip. All right, you know you're not supposed to take that because Yahweh Shemel Shai will destroy you according to Revelation 14:9 and 10. And you could go read that for yourself if you don't already know. The scriptures, the prophecy, Yahweh Shemel Shai have already forewarned us of it. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, we warned you. So that's it. There's no excuse. And these things could be coming down any day now at this point, because all you need is the next crisis like C-19 to introduce this new way of life. Just like right now, things have never returned back to normal. You got people walking around with jabs in them. You got people still wearing masks. And guess what? Look at the word mark and look at the word mask. I'll type it in up here. What's the difference? One letter. And it's one letter after each other in the alphabet. So, I mean, nothing is a coincidence, man. I'm not trying to be like super deep or nothing, but the same way that people dealt with the mask and people dealt with the jab is basically was just the framework and the foundation for the chip when it eventually is made mandatory by law. So that's pretty much it. You know, if you can't receive it, that's your problem. You know what I'm saying? That's your problem, because you're the one that's going to have to make a decision for yourself and for your family and the people you love. All right? We all going to have to make that decision. So if you just can't get it, or you don't want to get it, or you just rebellious, or whatever your problem is with the understanding that the mark of the beast is the chip, that's your problem. All right? We, quite frankly, to be very vulgar with you, we just don't give a fuck. Because this prophecy is one of the most important prophecies pertaining to the salvation of the elect of Israel. And that's why we do these videos. That's why we do this work. All right, it's for the elect's sake. So we don't play with this thing, man. All right, we're not playing games. This is not a fucking joke. This is not up for debate, up for interpretation. This is deadly serious. And for those of you that can't get it, that's scary. I'm going to say it like that. That's scary that you can't see it, but that's not my problem. And I really just don't give a fuck. My concern is getting this truth out to the elect being sealed by this word of promise, the words of Yahweh Shemel Shai, and not taking the RFID chip so that they could be saved, including myself, Lord willing, and my family. That's what I'm concerned with. And that's what all the men of the Lord are supposed to be concerned with. And if a man is not concerned with that, then he's not a true prophet. He's a false prophet. He's not a man of the Lord. And the Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to destroy him. So with that, call hello Yahweh Shemel Shai Bashem Rakak Wadash. Hope and pray you were edified. To the elect of Israel. And Lord willing, I see you in the next lesson. Shalom.